Hi everyone, welcome to Sketch and Tell Live, episode 2. I'm Erica from MyBodyModel, and today we'll be chatting with Andie from Sew Pretty in Pink. And I'm so excited to talk with Andie. Andie is an amazing positive force in the online sewing community. Andie created the hashtag and community Chronically Sewn and is also an editor for the Curvy Sewing Collective, among many other things that Andie does for this online community. And I'm so excited to learn more about their sketching process, both digital and on paper, as well as just general creative process and sewing in general. It's so good to see you. Welcome. And thank you so much for coming on Sketch and Tell Live with MyBodyModel.
Thank you so much for having me.
You have been involved with MyBodyModel since MyBodyModel even existed. You were one of the first people that I reached out to when it was just in the idea phase, and I knew we needed testers. And you were involved from day one. We had, over time, 18 months or so, 3 different phases of app development and testing. And it was just so amazing to have you as part of that process. So it's really special to me to have you and to be talking in this interview format with you. And I always love seeing your sketches. And most recently, you announced that you would be sketching your outfit every day for Me Made May, and you did that last year too, and it's just so amazing. So I'm wondering if you could start just telling us a little bit about why you're doing that, how it's working for you. I know you did it last year, you're doing it this year again. Just tell us about that.
I'm not really sure what prompted it for me. I think it was Kiara Sierra that started sketching their Me May May, and I was like, oh, I can do that. Yeah. And it's just been like a really great way of documenting it. And I was like, definitely doing it this year again. I like the juxtaposition of the pictures against the sketches, but I also don't feel as much pressure to take pictures because I'm doing the sketches anyways. So that was also kind of like another way to like get off the hook with that, because I feel like there's a lot of pressure to take those pictures, and this is just another format of displaying what your Me Mays are.
I love that. And Zoe, who started Me Made May, says everywhere it's not a selfie challenge. Selfies, daily selfies for sure, don't need to be part of your participation in Me Made May, but there definitely is that feeling of wanting to document your Me Made clothing and how you're wearing it. And so sketching is such a great way to do it. So I love how you have on your grid, you've been posting every day the sketch. And then when you take a selfie, you have the side by side. So what I thought was really interesting about this is I get questions from people about what do they need to get started with digital sketching. So I'm curious why you chose digital, because I know you like paper too. Why you chose to do digital drawing for Me Made May, and also what kind of tools you have, because a lot of folks are worried that they need a whole bunch of new equipment to do it.
Yeah, and so the reason why I started doing digital sketches for Me Made May was because just the thought of like sketching it on paper and then taking pictures, and then like where I was trying to reduce some of like the like the things that I was doing for Me Made May, it just seemed like, well, if I'm going to be doing it or displaying it on a digital medium anyways, then I might as well just start digitally. So like I just started with, I have a Samsung phone, so I just sketched it out through Samsung. So there's image editor within Android phones. So basically, like, you don't really need to do anything else. Like, you don't need to download another thing. The one thing that I noticed was that a pen does help. Like when you have one of those, like stylus pens, and this is what I use for my sketches, because the finger doesn't quite work with the details that you need to do. So if you have like one of these, or like one from like a Note or something like that, or like an old Game Boy or something, but like any stylus would do. It's just a matter of like getting a more fine line than your finger can do, which is like, I mean, it's difficult with that. But in terms of apps, I am using a new app now, even though I started with the image editor in Samsung phone. I'm now using Artflow, which is a free app, and it's got a lot of different tools in it that make like a lot more brush effects than just the basics within like the Samsung phone. So like you don't need much. Free apps, a stylus, that's it.
That's awesome. Yeah. You don't need an iPad, you don't need an Apple Pencil to get started with digital sketching, or even just to do it in general. And even the free apps, or even the free things that come on your phone, can be used. I love that. Can you show us some of your more recent ones? Have you done your one for today yet?
I haven't done it for today. I was like, should I? But I ended up baking all today, so I was like exhausted. So this is what I have so far for my sketches, and then you can see like there's the first one. Let me just
and you're showing us on your computer because we're talking to you on your phone right
now. On my phone. And I'll show you the side by sides. Just a second.
I love that. And it's amazing how much detail you can get just by zooming in, even if you're on a small screen like a phone. I love that. And you can really capture the colors really well digitally in a way that in paper can be more challenging.
Yeah, well, with paper, I mostly use like either markers or pencil crayons. That's what they're called in Canada. I forget what they're called in the States.
Colored pencils.
Yeah, colored pencils.
Yeah,
pencil crayons in Canada. So you can't get a lot of like variation in colors unless you're doing layers with those things. So I also just really like like the different types of colors that you can get through digital sketches. So I even started sketching this month outside of like the fashion croquis. So I'm just doing digital sketches for fun as well.
That's awesome. And I love your use of color. That's one of the things that just makes me so happy when I look at your grid. It's just all the color. And I know you've gone, so you have like different color themes that you've been drawn to over time. I'm wondering if you can talk a little bit about just color and what colors you're really into now and how that's reflected in your Me Made May.
So I'm going to give a little preview of the outfit that I'm wearing. So it's rainbow colored Helen's Closet Blackwood cardigan. And then this is a hot pink Workhorse Patterns Ione top. And then I'm also wearing my mint Skullthorpe pants. So right now I've been like loving the pastel rainbow spectrum.
I love it.
And like using hot pink and some darker colors in order to like offset like the washed out palette. But like everything that I'm buying right now in terms of fabric is within like that color spectrum. Like I just want to live in pastels lately, which is why one of my theme weeks this May is going to be a pastel rainbow.
That's awesome. And I love the combination of the pastels with the brights together is super, super cool. I just lost the question I was going to ask you as a follow-up. So do you experiment with color combinations in sketch form before buying the fabric or figuring out what you're going to make with it?
I usually do. There's not like it's really more that I use the sketches to sort of like in those moments, because I have a chronic illness, so in those moments where I'm not able to sew, it's fun to basically like play with the sketches and then like imagine what I could sew if I were feeling better. So in terms of like the colors, I just go wild with it. Like I do, you know, like any color I want, and then I'm like, hey, I wonder what that would look like on me. So I started sketching myself with like yellow colors, and then I realized that like I really like that. And previously I'd been told that yellow is not my color and it washes me out, and I'm like,
hey,
none of that matters.
Right, who cares?
It's a color, it makes me happy, so I might as well wear it.
Nice. I love that. So I'm looking at my list of questions over here for follow-up. So we've talked a little bit about digital drawing, and I know you love doing paper sketching also. Do you use them for different types of projects or different types of creative exploration?
I use them for like different ideas that I get in my head. Like when I see a pattern and I'm like, oh, what would it look like if this modification were made? So, you know, like adding a button placket or putting a gathered skirt on something, or, you know, like adding ruffles. So a few of my sketches have to do with that like I'm just sort of imagining how they would look in different ways. Or I'm imagining like different viewpoints. So like this is from the swimsuit one that we posted on the blog.
Yes,
and then like all of these are different views of the Ipswich, or I think that's how you pronounce it.
I think
from
so.
Cashmerette, and you know, like this is actually the one that I ended up making. I did make that one, but I actually made it like that.
Nice.
And I haven't found it polka dot fabric yet, so I haven't made that one.
I love it. I love that so much. So I just want to mention that that post is from last summer, I believe, and Andie did an entire post about designing swimsuit sewing plans. So I encourage everyone to check that out because there's a lot of great stuff in there. I love drawing, like you mentioned, for those times when I need a creative outlet, but I can't sew. Like I'm just too tired or my body hurts, and I can just do it lying down. Do you find like paper or digital to be more conducive to that, or you kind of switch between?
I think that like digital, because I keep my stylus pretty close to me downstairs when we're watching TV, so it's kind of easy to just like, oh hey, I'm going to grab that and then I'll start sketching while I'm binge watching a Netflix show. Yeah. So I find that aspect of the digital drawing very easy, but there are some times where it's just like you get a lot more details within like sketching by hand that I haven't like quite mastered with digital drawing yet. Although I'm getting there. Like it's you can definitely see improvement in what I did last year throughout like the entire month, where like the first sketches are kind of like, I mean, they're good, but they're kind of like, but they slowly get better and better. And then this year I've been noticing like the same thing, that like, especially with the app that I'm using, that it can be more detailed, and
Nice.
And I'm getting better at those details. But right now it's like, if I want those details, I will go to the pencil.
Nice. And a lot of your paper sketches are super detailed. I'm thinking of a couple in particular. One was your Pretty in Pink dress, and one was a lace overlay embroidered garment that you were planning to hand embroider.
Yeah, this one right there.
Yes, yes. And so you really were able to, and those were those came kind of from a design. I love that. I love that. And I love the ombre color effect there.
Yeah.
And it sounds to me like you came to those from an idea in your head of what you wanted to make, and you were kind of getting it down on paper to be able to visualize it before you even knew what pattern it would be? Or did you start with a pattern that you might hack to get to that?
So with those two pictures, it was literally from Pinterest. This one was a part of a fashion show that was...
Oh, I remember.
It had like, it's basically like multicolored sequins of, like rainbow clusters and stuff like that. It wasn't exactly this design. This is more like the Deer and Joe Myostosis?
I don't know how to pronounce it either. Yeah.
Thank you.
Apologies if I'm saying it wrong.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm saying it wrong too. So this was based off of that pattern, although that pattern is way too small for me. So it's a matter of like hacking another pattern to this, which Shannon from Rare Device, she actually did one that was very, very similar to this with the cashmerette Montrose top. And so like that was my thought, but I have some adaptations to do to that pattern to get it to fit the way that I want it before I actually like make it into a dress.
Awesome.
And then this one was just literally from Pinterest. Like these are skirts that I saw on little girls. And I was like, but I want one. So I basically
Why
was
do they
like,
get to have all this fun?
yeah. So it's like tall skirt with fake flowers.
Layers?
Yeah. Yeah, and then fake flowers basically like sewn in various places so that it like looks like cascading flowers.
Awesome. And is the top attached or is it separate?
No, it's just a skirt on the bottom, and then the top would be like a
jersey tee?
Probably a bodysuit, I think.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
But I've never seen fabric like that, so the next step is
forever
spoonflower, I guess.
Right. That would be very cool. So I know that you've posted a lot on Instagram and also on your blog, and you also recently did a post for the new blog Fat Sewing Club, which is all about Me Made May Plus. But there are actually some sketches that we've never seen before because you've never posted them anywhere. Could we get to see those?
So the first one is just a pencil drawing. So forgive me if you can't really see it very well. Here, I'll zoom in on each one.
Oh, cool.
That's one with like a overlapping skirt.
Nice.
And then sort of an off-the-shoulder look with leggings or pants. And pants can be leggings.
Yes, for sure.
And then that's a full dress with like a cutout, like a keyhole detail at the top, and then a short collar.
Nice. And those are just regular pencil sketches, trying out the silhouettes and how they'll go together. Did you have patterns in mind when you drew those?
No, not at all, actually. Yeah. I don't even right now, I'm just like, I'm not sure what patterns I would use. There's a bodysuit that I used from McCall's that kind of has like the same off-the-shoulder look.
Right, that cut out.
Yeah, so I think that would work for the off-the-shoulder tops. The whole look here, like these two were meant to be like, this is the top, and then this is the top with the skirt.
I love it.
So it's basically like coming up with different concepts of, And
trying out outfit combinations too. So if you make one garment, what else could you wear it with?
Yes, yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I love doing the outfit combinations. that's the other aspect about like sketching that I really, really enjoy. Like this whole fall for pastels look.
Oh, I love that. And you're wearing that cardigan right now.
Yeah, exactly. And I finally like made this dress. I just need to hem it. But like all of these things are made. Even the pants I made with Fremantle, free range slacks from Sew House 7 instead. So I swapped that one out. But I made this top. These are the Yant overalls.
You made them? Oh, I haven't seen
the
those.
one that the picture that you posted in the grid.
Gosh, I have seen those. Of course, the gray ones. Oh, that's perfect. Oh, I love it. That's amazing.
And then so I love different like doing different outfits with the same sort of style throughout them, so that like it gives me an idea of like the color palette that I want to go with, and like how I want to style my outfits basically. Although like it's all work from home right now, so styling is just like for me.
But also I mean, you're thinking like a designer. You've got your theme, you've got your color palette, and you've got a whole collection built around that. Mm-hmm. And from that one sketch page with the 3 figure sketches, that's like a whole wardrobe right there.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be super flexible for work from home or for even going out when that day comes. Yeah. That's so cool. Thanks.
So then the final one that I haven't shared is this one, which is another 3. And then this was basically like the whole idea is a pencil skirt with a, I think it's a Style Arc Blair shirt.
Yeah.
And then this is just like a Henley top. And then these shorts are available over on, I think, LaKayla. And then this is Seamwork Arden without the sleeves.
Oh, nice. I love that. So have you found that polka dot fabric?
I have it. I decided to go with a top instead and keep the sleeves.
Nice.
Yeah. But that's
the play around with designs and they can change. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
So I know you do some cosplay too and costume design, and you've done some really, really cool ones. I'm wondering if you have those in a little stack that you could show us. I'm thinking about your pinup Wonder Woman, which you actually made and was amazing.
It was a painful sewing process.
Oh, no.
I'm really pleased with how it eventually turned out. Oddly enough, I can't find that, but I have Velma.
Yes.
From Scooby-Doo.
Love it.
And then the Wonder Woman here must be here somewhere. I ended up shuffling out all my papers.
Oh, yay! That is so cool. Yeah. And that was from a dress pattern.
Yeah, that's the
a Gertie dress pattern.
Gertie Lamore dress. Yeah.
Awesome.
And then I also have become obsessed with onesies, so I have an idea of making a white cat onesie.
So perfect.
Yeah.
So that's in the must sew list. Someday.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Maybe sooner than later.
It will happen.
Are there any things you've sketched that you haven't made yet that you're really excited to make someday, that you're looking at it on the sketch, you're like, yes, I know I want to make that?
I would say, so the sequin dress that I talked about before is definitely top of my list. I have all of the sequins. I have everything that I need. I just need to finish adapting the pattern and then sew it together.
That's going to be amazing.
And then the other one I was thinking of that I really want to get to is this whole look right here, which is a tulle ombre purple skirt and then a tuxedo jacket with I was thinking about purple velvet and then purple satin for the lapels as well. So eventually one day, not that I have anywhere to wear this,
cool.
but
well, why not?
like that stops me.
You can make it. Were there patterns underneath there, or was it just describing the garment? Or
So
have you thought of patterns for those?
For this one, it's a Berta jacket that I have.
Oh, wow. So you've already made it?
No, I haven't made it yet. There's so many plans and so little time.
Oh, I know how that goes.
But the pattern's from the 2018 March edition, and it's number 138. And then the skirt would just be a gathered skirt. So I would think of any pattern for that.
Garments would be super versatile to mix and match with other things as well as together. I think I agree. Practical make. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, of course, you can wear a purple velvet tuxedo jacket anywhere.
Oh yeah, just with pair of jeans. Why not?
Yeah. A Zoom hangout. That's all.
Zoom hangout. That's right. Oh my gosh. So, what do now that you're a few days in? I guess what day is today? May 8th. Mm-hmm. How's your sketching of your daily outfits going so far? And do you have any goals kind of by the end of May, by the time you're done documenting your outfits of what, when you look back on it, of what you hope to have learned or any learning or things you hope to learn about your style?
I'm excited to see like the progress over the month, because it was one of the things that I noticed last year that like my sketching got better. I've been a little out of practice lately with sketching, so it's been really nice to get back to it. And then like I plan on doing, you know, like a roundup post like I did last year and putting them all in a grid like this. Cool. Yeah. So cool. And I love seeing it all like that. And then I also did one where it was like, this is the comparison of, you know, like the sketch versus the picture. Although this year I'm not really focusing too much on pictures. I'm doing a few here and there, but my phone is already is like also been a little bit about taking pictures and saving them lately. So it's just sort of like, if they last throughout the month and my SD card doesn't become corrupt, then then I will post them.
Okay. And seeing them all side by side is so cool. And you were talking about maybe doing a spoonflower print.
Yeah, so cool that's kind of like that was kind of like the next step. It's probably like come out of like the fact that I keep on coming up with these textile looks in like digital sketches that I'm just like, this would actually look really cool as a print. And then like, you know, like with some of the ones where I'm just sort of like coming up with a concept there, like this could easily be a you know, like a printed one for Spoonflower. So it's just like, it's the kind of like the natural progression of things when you start doing digital drawings, that you're just like, I can just create textiles.
Yeah, that's the problem.
The sky is the limit.
creative interest, they just keep building. But that's part of the fun too. For anyone that's just starting out drawing, I hear a lot of people say, you know, I can't draw. My body model sounds really super cool, but I can't draw, so it's just not for me. What would you recommend in terms of getting started?
Just do it. Like, it's so much fun. Like, you get the outline. So you don't really have to, you know, like think too hard when you're doing the sketches. Like, you have, you know, like an outline of the exact kind of shape that you should be, you know, doing your sketch for. And then most patterns come with line drawings as well. So like if you kind of, a lot of what I do is comparing the line drawing with like how it would look on my body. So that basically like I'm just using the line drawing as a guide to help me with my sketch. So that's a lot of, you know, like what I do and how I start and how a lot of artists out there work as well. So they have like references and then they sketch from the references. So it makes it a lot easier and a lot like there's less barriers if you have a reference next to you while you're sketching. And then having the outline, because drawing human hands and like heads and stuff like
so
that
hard.
in proportion, it's really hard. Yeah. So like this alone is more than enough to get anybody started. When you combine this with a line drawing in a pattern, then you're like, perfect.
Awesome.
You can do it.
And we have,
like anybody can do
style
it.
templates too, so you can draw the hair on and things like that.
Exactly. Or you could just leave it hairless. Like half of mine are hairless.
That's true. If you're just trying to get the sense of a design, you can just leave it blank. There's no reason not to. So I'm curious, how long does it take you to do your quick daily outfit sketches versus how long does it take you to do one of your more detailed sewing plans on paper?
So I think I take about like an hour for the paper sketches, which doesn't seem like much actually, but it's probably about 20 minutes for digital sketches. Yeah, it ends up going pretty quickly because of like the tools that I'm using for it. And I'd say probably like the thing that takes the most amount of time is choosing which color to use, because there's so much choice in the digital sketches. Yeah, but I always start with, in the paper sketches, with pencil drawing first, and then I will color it, and then I'll use a Sharpie over top of that to get the outline again. So it takes like a lot longer with the pencil drawings, but you don't need to go to that detail at all. Like you can just go with pencil and that's it. Like some of my sketches are just pencil. So
and just do the outline.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And, like a lot of the time, because I grew up doing art, like I'm thinking of like how it would look draping and like getting those lines in, but you don't need to do that either.
Right. You can just do the silhouette and the seam lines just to see where everything falls. Hem lengths, sleeve lengths, things like that. So if you can hold up, we're actually out of time. This went so fast. Can you show us just one more time your pastel rainbow collection that you designed and where you've actually made almost all the garments in there? So that was a whole wardrobe collection. How long did you spend drawing this page and coloring it and everything?
So this one was probably like an hour for that. Maybe a little bit over, because then I ended up drawing like this.
Little decorations. I love it.
Yeah, because why not? But it was mostly like getting the variation in the like stripes that was, like a lot of time. And because I drew two cardigans with two different looks, it was like, okay. I'm like constantly drawing pastel stripes throughout it. But so this takes about like a little over an hour for the three like that, very detailed. Something like this because it's so tiny, it takes me so much longer for that. So it probably took me an hour and a half for the 9. But like I said, you don't have to do that many details. It's just, because I love just unwinding and playing with colors.
And do you have a favorite page format from the printable templates that you like to use the most? Or you seem to use a lot of different ones. You have the one with a bunch of little ones on a page, the 3 per page, the front and back project planner.
I'd say it's probably that front and back project planner that I like the most. Mostly because like if it's something that I'm coming up with in my head and I'm like, I looked at Pinterest and sort of had this concept, then this is a great way of getting like in a lot of details, especially if I don't have a pattern in mind, and seeing both the back and the front for it. And I also like naming projects, funny names, and then like putting in like exactly what kind of fabric I'm thinking of and any sort of alterations or modifications that I would need to do if I have a pattern in mind. And then like what sort of supplies I would need for it, because it's the other aspect. It's like when you dream up all these plans, you're like, oh, I need like $500 worth of materials, and then you're like, this is just a dream then.
Right. But then when you see it, when you have it down, then you can make those, it's easier to make those decisions and then keep you inspired and motivated through all the long work and hours that it takes before completing the garments.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because it's easy to get excited about an idea at first when you first buy the fabric, but then that following through and actually making it, I find for myself, it's really helpful to have that visual just to keep myself motivated. Like, okay, this is what I'm going for. This is how it's going to look. It's going to be worth the effort for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome. Do you have anything else you want to tell our I was going to say listeners, our viewers? Where can people find you online if they don't follow you already?
If they want to follow me on Instagram, I'm at Sew Pretty in Pink, all one word. And I'm at sewprettyinpink.com. I'm also on at chronically sewn, and I also post often with at Curvy Sewing Collective as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Andie. This has been so great. And I'm going to, this will be posted on our Instagram profile for 24 hours. And then I'm trying to figure out a way to get these recorded and posted on IGTV so that they can still be available. It was great to talk with you. Thank you so much.
You too. Thank you.
I hope to have you back on the show sometime.
I definitely will.
Thank you, Andie. Oh, and I was just going to say, if anybody has questions for Andie, please send us messages, and I'm going to do a post just reminding people to come give this a view, and we can answer any questions there as well.
Awesome.
Thank you. See you soon.
Thank you so much.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.